still chasing fire through the years half slow. Weights on my back, sweat in my eyes. Old man's fight never says die. Old man on the mat, still standing tall. One more round, yeah, I've heard it all. Grip the edge, don't let it slip. Strength in the soul, strength in the grip.
Hey, Old Man on the Mat crew, this is Tony Jones coming at you. Another great episode of Old Man on the Mat. And guys, like I said I think it was like a few podcasts ago, man, I don't drink coffee, but today I had to get the coffee in, man. My gosh, I'm going to be vibrating. I'm so sorry for the guy next to me, man. But guys, I'm fired up for this guy coming on. I got some of his stuff here, and I'm looking at the page that he sent me with all his credentials. I'm like, this man does everything, man. This guy, he has one of the most elite wrestling camps out there called Irons Elite Wrestling. The guy just came back from Egypt, and I said, when he told me he was going to Egypt, I'm like, where? The man went to Egypt and just cleaned house over there. Brian Mellis there, 3 times USA World Team member, 2025 UWW World Bronze Medalist. Wait a minute, before I give you all this stuff, we're going to get into it with this guy. But with that, I give you guys Jabari Irons. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing great. It's a blessing to be here on this show and have an opportunity to just to converse and talk sports and health.
Hey, I like that, man. Sports and health, man. See, when we were talking a second ago, you told me your age, and I'm just like, why am I talking to this young guy, man? He don't have any old injuries. But man, so where do you live? You in Florida, or where are you?
Fort Myers, Florida. So we're
Fort
in
Myers.
Southwest Florida.
A buddy of mine just came from. His parents live in Fort Myers there, so he was all excited about that. I'm like, that's good stuff, man.
It's a real big retirement community. So every time someone mentions Fort Myers, they're like, "Yeah, my parents have a home down there. Yeah, my grandparents live there." And I'm just like, "Yeah, everybody just comes to vacation and then they leave."
That's right. I know, man. You live in an old man's community, man. No, that's fun though. That's good stuff, man. Well, dude,
Yeah.
listen. How did you? I would like to start these with knowing about your past. How did you get into wrestling, become such an elite wrestler, man? Were you wrestling from what do you call it, junior and all that kind of stuff coming up at Pee Wee, whatever you call it?
Yes, sir. So I think it's funny, and like I've been asked this question a few times, but I always forget like my very first exposure to wrestling because it was such like a small glimpse of
Yeah,
in time that it just leaves my mind so fast.
yeah.
But I'll say the very first exposure to wrestling. So my we used to go to a daycare that had a summer camp, and it
Oh
was
wow.
called Westward Ho. It was called Westward Ho, and it was right on a street called Palm Beach, and it's like on the side of town where nothing but like the Mexicans live.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
but they had a church, not a church. They had a daycare on this road, and man, I tell you, it was nothing but hood kids that went to this daycare. It was nothing but hood kids that went
Little
to the
thugs in
daycare.
in the daycare.
Listen, I'm telling you, like anybody, like we grew up with so many kids at this daycare to where it's like as adults, you feel like you know everybody
Oh
in
wow.
Fort Myers because everybody from like youth sports to high school sports to
Wow.
like different realms of life, even as an adult, you see people that you know from everywhere. And it's like, well, how do you know them? We all went to the same daycare. So,
Wow,
so yeah,
man.
yeah. And I think back then there wasn't like a ton of options,
Yeah.
but that daycare housed so many people.
Really?
But there was a guy, his name was Isaac Church, and it was a big family that ran the church.
Yeah.
And one of the guys, his name was Isaac Church, and out of nowhere, like they used to always have a lot of the kids, some of the leaders and coordinators and adults, they would be youth football coaches
Yeah.
or AAU basketball coaches. You know, one time, the guy Isaac Church, he said, "Oh yeah, we're gonna start a wrestling club," and I'm just thinking like, okay, cool. Like I had to been maybe 6, 7, and I knew nothing about wrestling
Yeah.
except WWE, because like I had a one of my older brothers. That's all he did all day long was just watch wrestling,
That's
and
awesome.
and I'm the youngest of five that I grew up with in my household. So I was always the youngest. I had two older brothers who I would battle out with, a twin
Oh man.
sister who's probably two times more athletic than I am, and
Wow.
so
Holy
like
cow.
I grew up in a house full of athletes as well. So
Yeah.
we used to go to the daycare, and he convinced my mom to just pick us up later. And my mom's like, "All right, cool." Well, so after all the all the kids leave, there's only a handful of us kids still left
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
And so it's like we go to this dark room in this daycare that we've never seen before. It probably was like a storage room,
Oh
and
man.
there's just a wrestling mat, like a wrestling mat in there. But and they're not teaching us anything. They just say, "You know what?" And I remember just like maybe go in a couple days, and they just say, all right, they put you against this person. All right, wrestle. And I
Just
just
wrestle?
remember
Just you like go for it, huh?
wrestle.
Wow.
Man, I just remember tackling the kid down and like lifting their leg up and kind of like WWE. But everybody, all the counselors, they were telling me good job and everything. But I'm just like, I guess whatever I'm doing is working. So, so that was like my first exposure to it, but, that only lasted maybe like
Oh,
a
well.
week or 2,
Yeah.
and I have no idea why. Um, I don't know. My mom, I don't think she was, very much, like, supportive, like, if she had to go out of her way
Uh-huh.
to have us in the sports, I don't
Yeah.
think it was convenient for
Yeah.
her or whatever. So that was my
Yeah.
very first exposure, but as I, like, grew up, I didn't remember, like, it was such a small glimpse in time that it's easy for me to forget it.
Oh, yeah, I get
But,
it.
now how I got actually, like, immersed in the sport, um, freshman year of high school, my ninth grade summer, I'm supposed to go to um a missions trip
Mm,
in Honduras.
okay.
And my mom tells me you can't go. Oh, uh, don't you know they stealing kids in Honduras, and you might go over there and you ain't gonna come
It's
back.
stolen.
And, and I'm thinking, man, I'm gonna be with a church youth group.
Yeah.
There's how many adults around? Like everybody's going. We're fundraising. Like you don't have to pay nothing. Just let me
Right.
go to the missions trip.
Yeah.
So she ended up saying, "No, I
Oh,
don't think
man.
it's a good idea." So I ended up not going. Well, how about the
Wow.
same week, one of my friends gives me a dirt bike. So
What?
now,
Yeah.
yeah. So we all in the neighborhood just riding, horsing around, and I ended up getting into an accident,
Oh, wow.
and I ended up cutting off the very tip of my finger riding dirt bikes,
Oh,
right? So
man.
yeah, like
Holy
riding dirt
cow.
bikes, right?
Wow.
So now so now that happens the same week. I'm supposed to be in Honduras.
Oh,
And
man.
the and listen, when I tell you, bro, I was so mad because
Yeah.
I'm just like, if I was in Honduras, this would have never happened. So so
Oh, man.
so so, a few months fast forward, um, I made varsity as a freshman,
Oh, wow.
football.
Okay.
Football. I played linebacker.
Okay,
And
you're a big dude.
yeah, I think freshman year I might have been 150 pounds. 150 pounds as a 14-year-old freshman. So I think
Okay.
I was like more on the bulkier side.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I was still short. I think I was still about 5'8", 5'7" freshman year.
Yeah.
Um, so a few months fast forward, and I can't practice if I jam my finger or the impact it would set me back, so I couldn't
Yeah.
do anything. I was able to run, but I couldn't like it's a very physical sport.
Oh,
You got to
absolutely.
be able to use your hands and shock the linemen and
Mhm.
snap them down, and I
Yep,
couldn't do any
yep.
of that.
Yep.
So so then we're in the neighborhood, and a lot of my friends are now, I'm as I start to get better, it's hard to just go to all the practices,
Oh
especially
yeah.
you're a freshman. I'm a sophomore at this time. So like my commitment started wavering. I
Yeah.
was showing up to all the football practice even though I couldn't do anything. And then you start saying, man, I don't know if I'm gonna stay after school today.
Yeah.
So one day we're all in the neighborhood and there's a few of us boys, we all had the UFC fighting gloves.
Yeah.
And we used to, man, just be out in the front yard, just beating each other up just for
Holy
fun.
cow.
And like I didn't have it wasn't a thing. I could close my hands and not have to worry about jamming my
Yeah.
finger or whatever. So man, there was kids who used to ride through our neighborhood from other neighborhoods, and
Yeah.
we always say, "Hey, come on, come to the backyard. We're doing UFC. Y'all want to come?"
Oh
So
my
now,
gosh.
so now we're actually getting good at beating each other up. So
Oh
then
man.
one day we got a good group of kids out there, and one of the boys who I go to school with, and he's in my neighborhood. He's Justin Marker. He says, um, well, I'm gonna go to wrestling. I'm gonna go to wrestling practice on Monday, and none of you guys are gonna be able to beat me up because I'm gonna learn wrestling. So I said "Well, I'm going to wrestling too. You ain't finna be beating me up. I'm going too." So 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 then a couple days go by, and this old dude in the hallway, uh chubby, old, long hair, and he always says, "Hey, you wanna wrestle?" And then this time he asked me, and I said, "Yeah, actually."
Yeah.
So then I showed up to the wrestling room, and the very first day I got my butt kicked. I don't think I
Yeah.
took anybody down, and I got my butt kicked for 2 weeks.
Wow.
And after those first 2 weeks, almost nobody in the wrestling room was taking me down anymore or
You
beating
learned
me.
fast.
Only one kid.
Yeah.
His name was Damian Rodriguez, and Damian, he was a regional qualifier. He probably would have went to the state tournament,
Wow.
but it was senior skip day
Yeah.
on the day of regions.
Oh.
This man skipped the tournament.
Oh man. Turned his whole life
Me,
around.
yeah, me and the head coach still went. He took me out of school. We still went and watched the regional tournament.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
crazy.
So
Small
so those
decisions ruin
2,
big things.
yeah, man. So I stayed in the wrestling room for about 2 weeks, and then I got cleared to go back and play football. And that year, I want to say we went to playoffs, so we were gone up until like late November. So then I come back and it's almost December, and I wrestled for 2 months. My very first season, I was a sophomore. I went 18-17. I barely had a winning record.
Man, that's sneaking
And
right over.
yeah, man, they taught me a double leg and they taught me a half, and that's all I needed. And so so I ended up I had a couple months of wrestling my very first season, and then I was sad at the end of season, but
Yeah.
I'm just like, how can I be sad? You just walked on a mat. Like
Yeah.
you just literally walked on a mat and had some physicality
Yeah.
and squeaked by. And
Yeah.
then the day after the regional tournament on the district tournament on a Friday, my coach calls me that morning, the Saturday morning, the next day, and he says, "Hey, you want to go wrestle?" And I said, "What do you mean? Season's over." He said, "Well, there's an off season tournament at Riverdale. You want to go?" And I said, "Yeah." So he
You
picks
ready to
me
get
up.
back out there?
He picks me up, man, and every Saturday from that entire summer, he took me to every local tournament,
Wow.
and I'm telling you, about 3 to 4 times a week, he would
Wow.
pick me up, like, right from school. I would go to football practice, I would go to strength and conditioning, and then after practice, he would say, "Hey, you wanna go to Riverdale? Hey, you wanna go to Cypress? Hey, you wanna go to South?" And so
Man.
so my wrestling coach literally was like a godsend. He was like an
Yeah.
angel. He took me to every club in my area. He took
Yeah.
me to every wrestling event in my area, and like I literally stayed on the mat from the day I started to I graduated high school every
Wow.
single day. And like
Wow. That coach saw
that was
something in
during
you, man.
football. I
Wow.
know. I
Wow.
know. and I'm thankful for it, and I didn't realize
Yeah.
what he was doing at the time, but I'm just like, it's a blessing. I'm like, this man is taking me everywhere I need to go, and
Yeah.
he's providing the opportunities, and I realized like it was such a blessing because once I got old enough, and I came back to my original high school to coach, I started doing that for the other kids, and I was
Paying
picking
it
them up,
back.
taking them to my club,
That's
and
cool.
they lived in, like, 30 minutes away in Lehigh Acres. I had a club in Fort Myers, so I was coming from Lehigh to go get them to take them back to my club, so because 'cause I'm
That's
just like,
cool.
somebody did it for me, so I'm gonna do it for them, and,
Paying it
they ended
back,
up being
man.
phenomenal wrestlers. They were from Haiti. They ended up being phenomenal wrestlers.
Man, that's good stuff, and you paying it back, man.
Yes, sir. You got
Man,
to, man, you got
you
to.
have to, man, and to seeing what your coach saw in you. Now, do you think there's many coaches like that nowadays, or that's just, "Hey, that was back then, no one's doing that anymore?"
I think there's still coaches like that. I
Okay.
think with the school systems it gets a lot harder
Yeah.
because man, the world is getting a little bit more corrupt and corrupt each and every
Mhm.
day. And back then, you could get away with a lot of stuff just out of
Yeah.
kindness of heart and charity. But
Yeah.
then you got so many things going on in the world and the dynamics of
Yeah,
how
I get it.
people look at the youth and children,
Yeah.
and man, it's getting weird out here.
You
So
ain't
so
joking,
I
man.
think that so I think that there's still like a pocket full of coaches that still do it, but I
Yeah.
think a lot of coaches are trying to protect their own
Yeah.
identity and their own way that the world sees them. Because I
Yeah.
mean, man, by the end of my when I came back and I was coaching at the high school, he started getting in trouble because there was kids causing in trouble at the school,
Mhm.
and then some of the kids he was going out of his way for were causing trouble, and they were
Wow.
saying, well, you can't pick them up. Well, you had high schoolers in your car. He's like, the kid has no parents.
Yeah.
He lives with a grandma who is incapable of taking care of him. He's
Yeah.
like, if I didn't pick him up for practice and for school, he wouldn't have a ride.
Right.
Like, so they were kinda making it hard for him, but I do think that there's still coaches like that all
Yeah.
over, the world and all over America. I just think that it's very slim. To be
Yeah.
selfless like that, it takes
Yeah.
a real giver of a person,
Exactly.
so yes, sir.
Exactly, man. It's sad though. We've come that far. We all have somebody in our past because we're a little older. You're not as old as I am, but we're a little older out there, and we've seen some good coaches and some things that we can't do nowadays. I feel the same way. I had a martial arts studio, man, for years, and I think that was like 8 years ago. I was done with it. And I used to
Mhm.
have kids come into the gym before I'd open an hour before classes started, just so have kids can come and have a place so they can just hang around, goof off
And
until it's time.
rest.
Yeah, exactly. And so I used to have to make sure I had myself, another instructor, and maybe someone else there also. Because sometimes you open the
Yes.
door and you just by yourself there, and I'm like, I gotta stop this because what I don't want any optics, how people think. So and
Mhm.
it's sad you gotta be that way. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So I remember one time we happened a couple of times where we opened at 4 for the kids to come in early, and there were kids in the parking lot because my assistant wasn't there yet. So I had to lock the door because I didn't want them coming in with just me there. You know what I mean? Just because of the
Yeah,
optics. It
yes,
was
sir.
crazy, man. I'm like, had these kids lined up outside. Some of the parents done dropped them off and they're still sitting outside. I'm like, I don't know what
Yeah.
to tell you. I can't open the door. I'd go in the back and hide out so they couldn't see me in the lobby area.
Yeah.
Oh, my assistant's here.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, come on in.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
crazy,
Nah,
man.
man, you gotta protect yourself because it
Yeah.
takes one rumor, it takes one little incident, and the
Yep.
parents are going crazy. A kid could be roughhousing with another kid and injure themselves, and
Yeah.
all the responsibility falls on you.
Yeah.
So it's just like, nah, man, I'm liable for any and everything that happens. So I
Exactly.
totally understand.
Yeah, we just become such a litigious society too, and everybody wants to sue you for something. This happened to my kid over there. And it's like, man, well, wow, that's crazy. So, where did you go to college once you finished your high school journey? And what your record? What was your finishing record at high school? If you don't mind me asking, I don't know if that's a sensitive thing or not.
Nah, man. So I finished my senior year 50-2.
Dang,
And
nice.
and I lost in the state finals.
Oh,
And, yeah, man, so it's funny. Um, it's funny. One of the losses came from, like, a season opener tournament.
yeah,
We went down to Miami, and at this time, everybody's on Facebook in these Facebook groups talking about the local wrestlers, and there was a kid, um man, I forget his name now, but there was a kid that everybody was hyping up all summer.
yeah,
They were hyping him up, and I wrestled 160. They didn't know what weight this kid was going,
yeah,
but they just kept talking about him and kept talking about him. He ended up going 170, and I
yeah,
went 160. But they were hyping him up so much. Oh, he's the best at this weight, and he's the best. So we get to this tournament. It's like dual tournaments,
yeah.
and I see this kid. We're going against his team, and I told my coach, "Hey, bump me up to wrestle him."
He said, "I want this
And
kid."
yeah, so he bumped me up, and man, we're on the edge of the mat. Like at that time, we had a coach that came from Greco, an assistant,
Yeah,
um, and came from California, and he taught us how to hand fight.
yeah,
And at the time, man, you got to think. Most of us are just surviving off of pure athleticism.
yeah.
So
Right, right.
then, so then you teach kids who are already rough that come from maybe harsh environments. You teach us hand fighting. It feels like we working with some serious weapons now. So, so,
Right.
so man, I go on the mat. So now I know I'm like pounding the head,
Oh
snapping,
man.
faking, and so the match was like I want to say tied up, and at the time, I want to say like the summer before, Flo, Bubba Jenkins had just hit like the first super duck that anybody had ever seen like go crazy.
Man.
And and so I see this super duck, and all summer I'm just trying it. I'm just trying it. And I'm in football practice telling my other wrestling teammate, hey, look at this move. So
On the
so
football
we're on the edge
field.
of the mat. We're on the edge of the mat, and I hit a super duck on this kid. And when I hit the super duck, I go right into a double and I take him down. I drag my feet
Yeah.
inside the ring. I take him down.
Wow.
The way they got this mat set up, they got the ring has enough room, but the edge of the flap of the mat is kind of bent up. So
Uh,
it's against the bleachers, and then it's like kind of folded like up against the mat.
yeah,
Well, he falls down outside the ring. I got my feet planted in my toes inside the ring. But
yeah.
when he falls, he like puts his hand kind of on the wood so he wouldn't fall hard.
Uh-huh.
The ref says he couldn't protect himself. Back to the center. And I'm just
Oh
thinking,
man.
bro, you gotta be kidding me.
Oh
So
man.
I end up losing to this kid by 1 point. And
Ah,
that was my first loss of the season, but it,
man.
it didn't really bother me because I'm just like I was out on a mission to prove that I'm the best.
Right, right,
And
right.
yeah, so then I didn't get another loss. I didn't get another loss until the state finals. And and honestly, I got taken down twice the entire season. Three times
Wow.
and three times. My third takedown, me getting taken down came in the state finals.
Yeah.
And Tremaine McClendon, a kid that I
You
grew
remember
up
the
with,
names.
in elementary, I remember. So that kid, I wanna say, took me down. Tremaine McClendon, he wrestled for Laley High School, built just like me, but probably bigger.
Wow.
And, and he took me down. He doubled me, and I was
Oof.
surprised.
Yeah.
And then in the state finals, that kid took me down.
Man.
His name was Brandon Voven, and, that actually helped me choose wrestling in college because
Okay.
I had a couple full rides to go play linebacker
Right.
and in
Wow.
college, and all my friends went to play football. I'm the only person that said, "Nah, I think I'm gonna go wrestle."
Yeah.
Um, and there's a few reasons behind it as well, but man, when I chose my school to go wrestle, and I looked that kid up, Brandon Voven. He went to Nature Coast High School. He used to always wear the Mr. Miyagi
Oh man,
headband.
that's awesome.
I never forget it. I never forget it. So when I committed to school, he committed to uh he committed to a D2 school, Newberry. He
Uh,
committed to Newberry. So I'm just thinking, all right, we in the same conference.
yeah.
I'll see you soon. And
You chasing this
so
cat, man. That's awesome.
yeah, man. I'm like, I need my revenge. I need to
There
avenge
you go.
myself. And then I never see this kid again. The
Ah,
next year, I think I look up the roster and never see this kid again. I'm just like, bruh, like I wanted to beat
wow.
that kid so much. Like
Oh,
he
man.
listen, I promise you, if I would have won states that year,
Yeah.
I probably would have never wrestled in college.
Really?
If I would have won states that year, I feel like I feel like it probably would have been like a 60-40. I would have chose wrestling.
Okay.
But if I would have won that year, I probably would have felt accomplished to be able to
Ah,
say, yeah, I think I'm gonna stick with football. But it ate
yeah.
me alive every day. Like, bro, I
Wow.
just wanted a state championship ring. I just wanted a ring. In the entire season, I'm like, I'm gonna get that ring. I'm
Oh,
gonna get that
man.
ring.
Got a
And then I
goal,
didn't get the ring.
brother.
I'm like, all right. And then I'm like, well, now I need a ring in college because I ain't
Yeah.
got no ring. All my friends walking around with big old rings on their
Oh,
fingers.
man.
I was so jealous. Yeah, man. So
Wow, man.
ended 50-2 that year. And I want to
Wow.
say my season career, it was like 127-39.
Man, that's good.
My career record was 127-39 in 3 years.
That's damn good. Man,
I appreciate
holy
it.
cow, man. So when you went to college carrying that kind of excitement with you going into college when you were chasing that dream. Now, when you
Yeah.
walked in the first time, did you like look at like I think most guys do look at the school, look at the room, like I'm gonna take that guy ain't gonna get me and all that kind of stuff.
Nah, no. When I got there, we went on a visit, and then at the end of the visit, they take us to the wrestling
Yeah.
room. And my first college was Ohio Valley University. So
Okay, yeah.
I transferred schools like 3 or 4 times
Really?
because I promise, I knew that no matter where I went to school, I would get a college degree.
Mhm. Mhm. Gotcha.
I literally, and to be honest with you, I always wanted to go to trade school.
Okay, yeah.
Like, I wanted to go to trade school. Really, the only reason why I even went to college was so I could continue sports.
That's
Like,
awesome.
I knew that after high school, if I didn't play sports, I was still gonna get a college degree. I graduated with a 3.7 GPA.
Oh, nice.
Um,
Nice.
yeah, I was in honors and AP classes. Like
Oh, man.
I knew I was gonna get some type of certification, some type of degree. Like I wasn't worried about that. I'm like, you
Yeah.
can go anywhere and get a degree. I was
Yeah.
like, I'm just trying to be a champion. So so
That's pretty
so
cool, man. I say brains and bronze, dude. Out there doing it.
yeah, man. So I transferred schools like 3 or 4 times, man. And every time I'm just like, bro, I just want to be a champion. I
Yeah.
can't do it here. I need to find better partners. I need
Yeah.
to find better coaches. And like, so
Yeah.
my first time walking into that wrestling room, I'm looking around and it's around this windy street up and down some hills, and we get there and it's like this building that's sitting at the top of the hill. It looks pretty decent from the outside, but then you get in, man, and it's all type of light panels missing, and
Oh, man.
it's a real cold room. The only
Yeah.
good thing about it was it had a bunch of big glass windows so you could look out and see deer running and
Oh,
the
man.
leaves red and yellow. So we're in West Virginia. So like you get an actual fall season. So it's
Yeah.
beautiful. You know what I mean? But I don't think I had any I don't think I had any pride
Yeah.
because I know like I'm still new at this. I'm just trying to see what I can do.
Yeah.
I don't think I had any ego. I'm just like I just came to wrestle, so I'm a wrestler.
Okay.
And I remember that very first practice. Well, on the visit, we wrestled a few college guys, and I don't think I was I might have gotten a one takedown or two, but really it was like it opened my eyes. Like, man, these guys are good.
Different
But
level, huh?
I but I do remember my very first practice. So that was in the springtime. and then I come back in the summer, in the beginning fall.
Yeah.
The very first practice, though, I made enemies. The very first practice, there
What?
was a guy named Tyler Green. And I remember Tyler Green was good. He was like a Ohio State West Virginia State champion, maybe
Wow.
Ohio. He went D1 to Cleveland State, and then he
Man.
transferred into Ohio Valley University.
Wow.
And I remember, like, the very first practice, I'm getting takedowns left and right, and I'm probably a
Yeah.
lot better than I was when I came up in the spring before.
Yeah.
And I remember he's upset, and he like said something about me, and I'm just like, how you mad? Wrestle. Like, stop talking and wrestle. You mad because I'm taking you down?
Right?
I'm like, bro, I'm in here as a freshman. Like, what you mad for?
Right?
Wrestle. Stop running your mouth and wrestle. So like, but bro, I was making enemies like
Man,
immediately. Like when I walked on the team, I was making enemies.
that's
And you know,
crazy.
we're teammates. We're teammates, but it's good to create that competition and competitive environment.
Yeah.
He wrestled 149 and I wrestled 160. Yeah.
Man,
Yeah.
man,
So
and he was all salty. You taking him down, dude. Well, hey, get better, right?
yeah, and really I was explosive, I was aggressive, I was athletic, and like it just took me actually learning true technique to
Okay,
put it all together.
gotcha. Man, because
Mhm.
one thing I see about wrestlers, and we talked a few minutes before we started, and yeah, I joke around like I hated wrestlers. You know what I mean? Which is because you guys, you have that next level, and every guy I've gone against that's a wrestler, when I'm tired, I'm thinking, oh yeah, he's tired too. There's that little notch up that's like, where did he get all this energy from? You guys have
Yeah.
technique that's just, I don't know, man. I can't even put my finger on it. I just know when I used to see guys like wrestlers step on the mat, because like I said before, I was on a judo team at Iowa State, and we'd work out with the wrestlers once a month. And every time I see these guys step on the mat, I knew it. I got to put in some work. It never paid off, but I had
Yeah,
to put in some work. Man,
that's right,
how do you
that's
guys
right.
train for that next level? What are you guys doing? And I think everybody trains hard. Everybody trains hard, in my
Yes.
opinion. But when it comes to wrestlers, how do you guys train that next level that you're known for?
Alright, so I will shed some light on a few different, um, techniques and training methods that I have come across and other coaches have. Um, they're kind of like the gurus and like who's of our sport.
Yeah,
Um, so early on, when I used to hear debates about what truly was the hardest sport on earth to
yeah,
compete in, and you always hear people say wrestling, they'll say track and field, they'll
mhm,
say swimming, they'll say MMA,
mhm,
right? So, and when I would read all the comments and the why when it comes to the rankings, and most of them they have wrestling as the top, or it's
yeah,
going to be top two, top three,
yeah,
and a lot of times wrestling will be above MMA or
yeah,
it'll be above track and field. And when you look at the why they have it ranked, is they say, okay, well, MMA, they say they're not, when you look at an MMA fight, it is full out, nonstop, it
mhm,
is war.
yeah,
But they say every day, they're not going in beating the snot out of each other every single day.
yeah,
They're not going in sparring every single day, maybe once a week.
yeah, yeah.
But
You're
they
right.
say the difference in track and field, they're not running their race 100% every single day.
Yeah.
They're training and preparing for it, but they're not running their race every single day
Yeah.
full out. But they say the difference is as wrestlers, we come in and we wrestle hard every
Every
single day, the
single
same
day.
way that we do when we compete. So it's
Yeah.
like if you're constantly putting yourself in that environment, in that scenario,
That makes
to
sense. Yeah.
to uh to perform at that high level,
Yeah.
I think that if you're actually training at a high level to where you're constantly competing and you're battling in the wrestling room, that you've simulated it so much
Yeah.
that when you get to the wrestling match or you actually have real competition, that you're able to reach that next gear or that next level.
Yeah.
Now, so like early on, that's how I used to think about it.
Yeah.
But then there's a guy, you might have seen him all over and he used to be very active on Instagram.
Yeah.
But these days he only posts stories.
Okay.
Joe Wrestling on
Nice.
YouTube.
I'm gonna look him up.
Asian guy, Joe Wrestling. His name's Jay LaValle.
Joe Wrestling.
And yep, Joe Wrestling.
Okay.
And I guarantee you've seen his stuff. But he used to be Kerry Colat's old assistant club coach.
Okay.
And when Colat was making world teams and making Olympics, his name's Jay LaValle, but they call him Joe. He comes from, I think, Korea, if I'm not mistaken. But Joe, he he wrestled in high school and then went to college for track and field.
Yeah.
And then after college, he decides, I want to wrestle. So he starts calling every club in his area,
Mhm.
saying, "Hey, I'm a grown man, but do you have some place where I can wrestle?"
Wow.
And he calls Colat, doesn't even know who he is, calls Colat. Colat's like, "Well, I need a training partner. I need a training dummy."
Yeah.
He was like, "If you're willing to come in and be my training partner and let me beat up on you, like that's fine." So Jay says, "Okay." Well, Jay is getting beat up by Kerry Colat for years.
Right. Right.
But while he's getting beat up, he's learning from him.
Yeah.
He's assistant coaching for him. And then at one point he was homeless. So he's sleeping in the wrestling room, cleaning it up, taking care of the wrestling room.
Wow.
And so Jay got to coach Helen Maroulis, got to coach Kyle Snyder, got to coach
Wow.
Miles Martin, got to coach
Wow.
all the who's from like the Maryland area.
Yeah.
So this guy has run across everybody and coached everybody.
Wow.
And Colat's one of the greatest American wrestlers there was. So he pretty much, and then when Colat went to go coach college, he left his club to Jay LaValle. So
Oh wow.
and I forget the club name, but it was I forget the club name. It's still around,
Yeah.
but he kind of branches out. He works with the Maryland State, the freestyle and Greco. He's like almost all international coaching
Wow.
these days. But he told me that one of the ways that they get wrestlers to reach their peak is by simulating difficulty. They
Right.
might have them wrestle light or do a drill very lightly. And then you keep on increasing the intensity, keep on increasing the intensity of the drill, or
Wow.
maybe the longevity of the drill.
Yeah.
So then he says it starts to build toughness. And that's what he calls it, because I used to say, like, well, how do you make wrestlers tough?
Right.
How do you get wrestlers to hand fight hard? How do you, and he said the secret is in increasing the difficulty little by little
Yeah.
by little, and then increasing the longevity of
Oh man.
whatever drill you're doing. And he
Yeah.
says, because then, it's not like a ramp up and it's killing kids' mentality, their emotions.
Ah.
It's you're just kind of exposing them a little bit by a little bit by a little bit. And
Yeah.
so when he told me that perspective, I think you're right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
he's somebody that, like, I value almost everything they say in
Yeah.
the sport. You see him coaching private lessons all the time.
Right.
Like, so everything he preaches, you see it in action. So I'm like, yeah,
Wow.
like he knows what he's doing.
That's cool, man. That's a great mindset, thought process. Because you think about, like I said, you guys have that extra little jump, and if you guys are fighting this hard in every training, every practice, and you hit it on the head, but everybody's not training for the death kill every every match, man. Every training. You guys, man, that's no joke, man. Wrestlers come in, come in on the mat in Brazilian Jiu Jitsu, and you see these wrestlers come in, and they're just, man, you know the look, and it's like, here we go.
Yeah.
Don't this guy know
Yeah.
we're just playing around?
Yeah, this
Man,
will be a battle. It's gonna be a
right.
battle
It's
every
gonna be a
time.
battle. Exactly, man. So when you're coming out of college, where did you start? Because you just how do you get international the way you've gone? You in the Barbados, you're in Egypt, you're all over the place. How'd that journey start?
So I was supposed to try out for Team USA freestyle. and I'm wrestling with a world champion, U23 world champion, Chase Singletary, and
Okay.
he wrestled for Ohio State.
Mm, yeah.
Heavyweight.
Yeah.
So Chase is from Naples, an hour away from me. So I'm going to Naples like maybe 3 times a week wrestling with him. And he's a big boy. Chase is probably 250, like burly.
Whoo!
And
Man.
I get in on a nice high crotch, and he puts me in a body cradle and puts his weight on me
Ugh.
and restrains some muscle rib cartilage
Oh,
that I
good.
had in college. So then
Wow.
I'm thinking, man, I got 4 weeks. I got 3 weeks until the US Open.
Holy
I
cow.
can't go wrestle. I said, I can't even train uh
Wow.
freestyle anymore. And I was still training, but I said, you can't do gut wrenches on me because my ribs are never gonna heal.
Yeah.
So I'm still training, but it's only stand up.
Man.
And so then the year before, I seen the beach stuff,
Yeah.
and I said, that would be really nice. There's a guy, he wrestled for NC State, Jamal Morris. I saw he won it. And then the year I was gonna do the US Open,
Yeah.
I said, I can't do it anymore. And I was sad, man, because
Man.
homelessness stopped me from, well, the first time I raised $2,000 to do the US Open, I tore my hamstring,
Man.
the last college match of the season. And then the next year, I'm gonna do the US Open.
Yeah.
I I faced homeless. No, my friend's parents said they're traveling out of the country all summer. They didn't want 2 college kids in their house the
Yeah.
entire summer. I said that's fine.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then the next year I go to do it, I face homelessness.
Oh,
So it's
man.
like when I finally say I'm gonna do it,
Yeah.
this is my year. Then the ribs happen.
Oh,
And so I said, "Well, I need to do some competition because 'cause I'm not waiting another year."
right.
So after college, I'm supposed to do the US Open, hurt my ribs, and, I said, "Well, I can't do freestyle Greco anymore."
Yeah.
I said, "Well, I seen the ad come up or something come up about beach wrestling," and I said, "I'm gonna do beach wrestling.
Oh,
I can
man.
get my takedowns." I said, "I can get my takedowns, um, and it's not really gonna affect my ribs that much." Like,
Yeah.
there's still parterre where you gotta go on the quad pod,
Yeah.
and they're still trying to wrench you down, but it's
Yeah.
very minimal. And I said, I was on my, when I ended up getting into a situation where I was, shot twice, ended up
Oh,
losing a friend,
dude. At the
and
same time?
yeah. No, this
Oh.
was, 2015, 2016 in
Oh, okay.
college,
Gotcha.
and, one of the things that the only thing that I regretted, um I had a conversation with God and I said, I know 100% that I'm going to heaven when I die. I'm a born again Christian.
Amen. Praise God.
I
Yep.
lived a life of service,
Yeah.
witnessing, leading others to God my entire life,
Yeah.
living for the Lord. And I said, my faith is secure. I'm
Yeah.
fine. I said, I can pass away today and I'll be fine.
Yeah.
But the ride over to the hospital, uh, huge loss of blood,
Wow.
and I'm just praying. I'm just praying, and the only thing I'm telling him is, man, I haven't. And around that time too, I wasn't as close to God as I needed to be,
Mm-hmm.
and
Gotcha.
I was going through a lot of um, spiritual warfare,
Yeah.
and I literally was like, God, I haven't touched enough lives on this earth yet. I
Wow.
haven't helped save enough souls. And I said,
Wow.
I'm fine with dying today. Like I'm fine. But I said, like, give me another chance because I haven't touched enough lives on this earth. I
Wow.
haven't changed enough, touched enough hearts. I haven't. So I said, just give me another opportunity
Man.
to to do your will. Give me another opportunity to help more people, to lead more people to
Wow.
you. And luckily I was able to, overcome the situation
Praise
with
God.
his blessings.
Praise
And
God.
yeah, amen. And so when I actually get to the hospital, I'm just thinking about, man, because I'm asking what's going to happen.
Yeah.
They're not telling me nothing. They're
Yeah.
not telling me nothing. So then I'm just like, I think about it, and I'm literally on my deathbed, and I'm just like, I haven't gotten to try out for a world team. I'm just like,
Wow.
man, I wish I could have tried out for a world team.
Yeah.
But when they stop all the bleeding and they've let me know no major arteries are hit and
Yeah.
I'll be okay. The number one thing that I said I needed to do was before I die, I need to try out for a world team.
Man.
So and so whenever my ribs get hurt again, I say, I'm trying out for a world team. I'm not taking no for an answer. I'm
Yeah.
trying out for a world team.
Yeah.
So the US Open for Beach came along and I wrestled it and I won. I
Ma-
won that. I won the very first time I went.
Wow.
And
Jacked up ribs and all.
yeah, man. And
Oh,
I
wow.
made the world team and I made the world team. And so I
Wow.
said, amen, praise the Lord. Like I'm glad I made the world team. And that year I ended up wrestling in Romania. And
Wow.
it was crazy, man. Like the third placer and the second placer, I was beating them in beaches. The first one to 3 points wins. If you get a
Wow.
big throw and
Yeah.
you expose their back to the sand, you plant them on the sand like in the suplex,
Yeah.
or a big move and you put their back on the sand, you win automatically 3 points.
Wow.
And then it's takedowns are 1 point and push outs are 1 point.
Man.
And so like it's the most intense wrestling you will ever see in your life.
Wow.
Just 3 points.
That's
Listen,
it. Done.
they're wrestling at 1,000 miles an hour. The first person at 3 points, you just got to take somebody down and push them out 3 times. So these
Wow.
matches are 3 minutes in total, but the most matches are gonna last maybe a minute and 50 seconds, a
Holy
minute and 30
cow.
seconds. So they're wrestling at 1,000 miles an hour. So
Man, that's
so I'm
brutal.
beating I'm beating the third world placer and the second world placer 2-0 in
Wow.
my matches there, and I end up losing 3-2. I end up losing 3-2 from these
Wow.
guys. So it really opened my eyes. Like I didn't win a single match, but it opened my eyes. Like, hey man, you're worthy. Like you're
Yeah.
you're capable of
Yeah.
this. So I ended up losing out in Romania, but it was a blessing for the opportunity. I did a GoFundMe and I
Yeah.
was able to raise some money to go. It was a blessing.
Wow.
And the next year, I raised some more money to go back to Worlds, and I hurt my hamstring training.
Man.
And well, I was training, but I didn't make wise decisions, man. I kind of had some imposter syndrome, self doubt.
Yeah. Yeah. That
I
goes
didn't
for
have
all of you.
any training partners,
Yeah.
and I didn't have any training partners, man. And one thing about it, my stepdad, my entire life would tell me. He told me a story one time and I never forgot that story. I was that kid, like anything that I heard growing up, I never forgot it. And
Yeah.
I remember one time, man, he told me a story of this kid, this guy, in around our area, and he was known as like the fastest person ever in Fort Myers.
Yeah.
And he let some people talk him into a foot race.
Okay.
And he hurt himself and
Oh,
was never able to go to college or the NFL.
wow.
And I forget what level he was at,
Yeah.
but he did that. And
Wow.
now, mind you, this is like after one of the hurricanes
Mhm.
and everything. And so I'm hanging out with my family, with my in-laws. And guess what? We clean up the whole yard after
Yeah.
the hurricane, and they entice me to a foot race. So
Oh,
now
man.
so look, so now the first thing that comes in my head is this story.
Yeah.
Now, and I'm just like, nah, nah. But this is a family full of athletes, man. So now,
Oh, a
so
lot of testosterone, a lot of energy,
yeah.
competition.
So I said, oh, nah, nah. Oh, come on. It's a bunch of them. And I'm just
Yeah.
like, nah, man, nah. And then they kick one after another, one after another, one after another, one after another. And I'm just like, all right. But I'm the type of person, I'm not just going to race anybody. I'm going to warm up. So
Yeah.
while they're all racing each other, I warm up for at least a good 15 minutes. I
Yeah.
really warmed up hard
Yeah.
and I still end up hurting my hamstring. And I
Oh,
ended up
man.
and I ended up not going, but I know a lot
Wow.
of it, like, I shouldn't have done it,
Yeah.
but a lot of it too was, like, I didn't believe in myself at that time because I didn't have the training partners,
Yeah.
I wasn't in the shape that I needed to
Yeah.
be in, and, of course you're going to make unwise decisions if you don't even think you're worthy and you don't
Right.
believe in yourself.
Exactly. It's all in your
So
head,
so
right?
yeah,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
So so yeah. But that exposed me to getting on the world level. So then, I hurt myself. A few months later, the Barbados Open comes,
Yeah.
and I get word that there's a tournament and I have an opportunity to wrestle. And I said, well, I missed the world championships. I need to get ready for the next US Open.
Yeah.
And I know I'm gonna win the US Open, or I know I'm gonna place and make the world team. So let me go to Barbados so I can get ready to go back to Worlds. Cause I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm determined. I want a place in the world. I know I'm capable. I am able. I am worthy.
That's right.
I had a
Self-talk is
teammate, his
important, man.
listen, especially when, because like, if you're a believer, like, that's what the word teaches. Like,
Yeah.
we're worthy because God, he was worthy first, and he was able first.
That's right.
And I had a teammate on Team USA, Ty Lothan. And Ty, I want to say he wrestled D1 and then he wrestled NAIA. But Ty is a dog.
Yeah.
He's tall. He might be 6'1", about 6'1", 6'2". But he's hard-headed. He's a
Yeah.
scrapper.
Right.
And one year he finished, I want to say, fourth in the world,
Wow.
third or fourth in the world.
Wow.
And when he did that, now, mind you, I hadn't even won a match on the world level.
Right.
I go and I win the Barbados Open, but the Barbados Open, it doesn't count toward USA rankings. It doesn't count towards nothing.
Yeah.
They have all the international wrestlers go there, but it's not like a sanctioned tournament.
Okay.
So I get my first few wins against international wrestlers, but on paper it don't mean nothing.
Right.
It's an ego boost for me.
Yeah.
And
Right.
and
Right.
it and
Right.
it's in its preparation. So when Ty went to Worlds that year that I had to sit out, I said, I can do this. I
Yeah.
said, if Ty is doing that, don't get me wrong, Ty's a dog, and he wrestled at a pace and at a physical level that I didn't
Right.
the year that I went to Worlds. And I said, if Ty's doing it, I know I can do it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
he's a great wrestler, but he helped me believe, like, I too can do this. And so I jumped in Barbados. I ended up winning the competition there, in my weight class, and then they put the champions together in a bracket. The absolute grand champion is
Yeah.
what they call it.
Yeah.
And I wrestled like 4 or 5-time Pan American, Cuban freestyle champion,
Holy cow.
uh, Yuri Torreblanca.
Yeah.
Mark Hall of Penn State was a 3-time national champion.
Yeah.
Um, Yuri and Mark Hall was a world champion. Yuri teched him, suplexed him, so like beat him to where like they had to stop the match. It's so bad.
Wow.
And then one of our Olympic champions, David Taylor, Yuri had like a 1 or 2 point match against one of our Olympic champions.
Yeah.
So now when they put the absolute bracket together, I'm going against this world renowned Cuban in the
Wow.
finals of this tournament.
Yeah.
And I lost to him 3-2. I lost to him by 1 point.
Oh
And
man.
that really helped me realize, like, I already knew I was worthy and I was capable
Yeah.
because I spent the summer at the regional training center with the Olympic team, and
Man.
I was scrapping with all those guys for a whole summer.
Yeah.
So I knew, like, you're capable. But when I went toe to toe and I lost by 1 point against a world renowned wrestler,
Yeah.
I said, bro, you're literally
Yeah.
up there with the best in the world. And so,
Absolutely.
like, that was the switch that said, bro, you're capable. Like, you
Yeah.
can do this.
Yeah.
And when I went to the US Open the next year, I got 3rd place. And then I went to Morocco, I got 2nd place. And I went to Egypt, I got 3rd place. And I ended up placing in the world. And I said, amen. Like
Amen.
it's crazy. It's
Man.
crazy to be able to see your dreams and goals play out.
Yeah.
And honestly, my goal was to make 3 events. It was to make 3 tournaments,
Yeah.
Greece, Morocco, and Egypt.
Yeah.
And I didn't raise the money for Greece.
Oh man.
And a parent out of nowhere said, Jabari, he said, because you love our kids so much and you put so much time, effort, and energy into my son, he said, "W- you know, I have the club team, the youth team
Yeah.
that I coach, and I had it on my calendar this season. It's been last season and this season. It's been on my list of like things that I want to accomplish to get our kids more active in competition.
Yeah.
So I've been pushing and pushing and pushing more competitions. So now it's time to take these kids to a competition that I've
Yeah.
had on the list
Yeah.
for a long time on my calendar. And everybody backs out except
Man.
one kid.
Yeah.
And it's like an hour away from home.
Oh man.
So I still say we're going. And I guess the kid's parents didn't know
Yeah.
that it was only gonna be me and him.
Yeah.
I knew that,
Yeah.
but the dad didn't know that. And bro, man, I got a car. It's a it's reliable.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
it's
It
a
gets you there.
blessing and it's reliable.
Yeah.
But I put a lot of time and effort and energy into keeping this car running.
Yeah.
And so I rent a truck, like $40, $50 to drive an hour and to drive back.
Yeah.
And when the dad finds out that I don't have my car, that I rented a truck, he's like blown away. And he's just like, man, you rented a truck to get here? And he's the only kid here? And I said, yeah. I said, man, if I go anywhere, I'm gonna rent a car
Yeah.
because I don't trust my
Yeah.
car. but but I said, yeah, like it's been on my calendar for months on end. Like there's no way I'm backing out of it now. I prepared the whole team to go.
Yeah.
At the last second, everybody pulled out. It would be
Man.
unfair for him and
Exactly.
your family for me to say, well, no one else wants to go. You're not worth the effort
Right.
and the energy. I'm like, no, we're going to compete.
Yeah.
And so the dad is just like blown away.
Man.
And when I was he came to me one day and he said, I want to have a meeting with you for fundraising opportunities because I was doing a fundraiser.
Yeah.
And he said, I want to help you fundraise. But then he finds out that the tournament is like a few weeks away.
Yeah.
And he says, well, the original meeting was to help organize a fundraiser, but he's like, we don't got a lot of time.
Yeah.
He was like, would you be okay if my company just donated the money to you,
Oh,
sponsored you?
man. Praise God.
And man, I almost cried.
Wow.
I almost cried because I had been praying that I was able to make this tournament, and I wrote it in my prayer journal, and I
Yeah.
had been like praying about it heavily. And just for while I'm in the midst of praying for it, and
Man.
he just comes and says, boom,
Wow.
I feel like I'm supposed to help you out, and I'm supposed to, and he says, man, the way you dedicated your time and energy into my son, and the way you went out of your way, you rented a car. And he said, man, we've had never had a coach that put that much time and energy into our son. We've
Man.
never He was like, it's hard to find coaches
Yeah.
that love kids or are willing to sacrifice their weekend like that. And I just
Yeah.
said, like, I put my time into him. I'm not just gonna back out on the
Exactly,
time that I
man.
put into him. And he's a great kid, and he shows up. He's a multi-sport athlete. Even during his soccer season,
Yeah.
still shows up to club multiple times a week. The
Wow.
kid's a dog. He's an amazing, a beautiful person, an amazing kid.
Yeah.
Always joyful, always happy,
That's
never
awesome, man.
complains. So like he's a great kid to be around, and it's easy
Yeah.
when you have kids who are dedicated and
Oh,
they love the sport and they help everybody around them.
yeah.
It's easy to sacrifice for a kid like that.
Easy.
So I was thankful that everything worked out how it should have, and it was a major blessing, man. And
Yeah.
I'm thankful for it, and it all worked out, and it all
Man.
worked out because I went to 2 out of the 3 tournaments that I wanted to shoot for.
Yeah.
There's 4 tournaments in the series,
Yeah.
and I made it to 2 out of the 4 and still walked away top 3 in the world, and that was my goal,
Praise
to be
God.
top
That's
3 in the
awesome,
world.
man.
So it was a blessing, man. It was a blessing.
Wow.
So
See, you
I'm
are
I'm
that
still blown
coach.
away.
You are that coach that helped you. You paying it back, and these families see that
I
in you,
try to be,
man.
man. I
That's
try to be because, man, I tell people my parents never put a dime into my wrestling.
wow.
Like my mom, she showed up to maybe 2 football games my entire career, never
Yeah.
showed up to a wrestling tournament.
Wow.
My dad, I ended up moving in with my dad and having to live with him after not seeing him since I was like 8 years old.
Wow.
I ended up having to move into his house. I suffered a little bit of homelessness in high school, but I ended up having to move into his house. I lived my entire senior year with him.
Wow.
And he came to a couple of football
Oh,
games,
good.
and then he came to a wrestling tournament. He
Man.
came to a wrestling tournament. And so like they didn't put any money into my
Nothing.
sports, or
Wow.
not very much time, not very much energy, not very much effort. And
Man.
so like if it wasn't for my coaches
Yeah.
and my teachers and my youth pastors, like I wouldn't, if it wasn't for those humans that were sacrificing their time
Yeah.
to help me, whatever they saw in me at the time, it's like I continue to give back to the
Yeah.
kids, because I always say I wouldn't be where I wouldn't be here today. I wouldn't be doing what I am doing now if it wasn't for their help and for
Man.
their selflessness. So
So
it's really important for me to always help families and kids however I can.
that's awesome. You got such a great heart, man. Because a lot of times you see got guys at your level, and these guys, not no, I don't think guys are selfish or whatever. I'm just saying they're out there focusing on what they're trying to do, and I get that. We all are to a certain
Right.
point, but you're giving back, and that it pays off.
I
It pays
try.
off, man.
I try because I have nothing. Like, everything that I had, I was given, and I
Yeah.
still tell people. I had a conversation with one of my friends, one of my best friends recently, and I said, "I'm 30 years old, and people are still giving to me at
Hey,
this age." I said, "I'm still being given," so I'm like, "I gotta give back
that's right,
still."
man. That's because you're such a giver. It's coming back. As words say, whatever you put out, you get returned. Good, bad, and different. It's
Yes,
coming
sir.
back to you, man. That's good
Yes,
stuff.
sir.
So when did you start your own place, your own gym out there, your own studio?
It was the year after I won nationals. So 20 20 20
Okay.
2019, I won nationals, and then, I was coaching out of high school. I started doing private lessons that year,
Yeah.
and so I was, like, coming in contact with kids and building up a brand.
Yeah.
Um, elite trained, Irons trained. I haven't sold Irons trained shirts in a while,
Yeah.
but I need to start
You
back,
need to put those
because
out
now
there,
I'm
man.
starting private lessons now. Last season, I was, like, almost strictly club, and I
Yeah.
wasn't really selling Irons Train T-shirts, but now I have a lot of private lesson kids, so I'll get a gear run through that,
Yeah.
and, but that's when, so I started building up, like, a core group of kids,
Yeah.
and then 2020 is when I had a club in Fort Myers. It went out of business. I was, renting space from a woman,
Yeah.
and it went out of business during COVID, and at the
Yeah.
time, I had so many private lesson kids that I could've took over the rent and
Yeah.
took over the building, but I didn't, because
Yeah.
I was just trying to save my money. I was investing in stocks, and I was trying to elevate,
Yeah.
and I said, "No, I could take over the rent," but I said, Would it be wise of me to do that right now?"
Yeah.
So I ended up not doing it. It went out of business, and then I called another gym, and a few months went by, and I'm losing my mind.
Yeah.
It's COVID down
Oh,
here,
yeah.
and
Oh, yeah.
I'm still outside, don't get me wrong,
Yeah.
but, like, most people aren't outside. So,
Exactly. Up
like,
here, we weren't
I'm just
outside at all.
walking through running the streets, playing basketball by myself.
Yeah.
I'm doing private lessons with a couple kids, but I only got 2 kids at this time doing
Yeah.
private lessons, so the same kid almost, a couple
Yeah.
times a week, and then I'm losing my mind, so I'm
Yeah.
just like I start calling gyms, "Hey, are you guys open? Do you need a wrestling coach? Hey, are you guys open? Do you need a wrestling coach?"
Yeah.
And a gym finally says, "Yeah, come teach a," he says, "Yeah, come teach a class, and that'll be your interview, and
Yeah.
we'll see if we like you."
Yeah.
And so I do it. He says, "Yeah, yeah, whatever you want. You can do whatever you want here." And
You
so
can come.
yeah, and that's the gym that I'm at now, Cali Style MMA in Cape Coral, Florida.
That's
And
awesome, man.
so I've been there. This is my 5th year there, man. This is my
Wow.
5th year there.
That must
And
be a
it's
great
going
home for you, man.
amazing. Great guy, great
Yeah.
guy. and he's a catch wrestling guy. He's
Oof.
a black belt jiu-jitsu.
Oh man.
But great club. So that was 2020 is like officially
Yeah.
when I 2020 2021 was like when I officially opened up my club. So it's been a few years now. Um 16 girls and boys got
Yeah.
scholarships into college, about 14 of them on full ride. I have
Wow.
never had, I have, thank you. I have
Man.
never had one kid that expressed to me, Coach Irons,
Yeah.
I want to wrestle in college. And I wasn't able to help it happen for them. So I
Wow.
always say we have 100% success rate, 100% of all of our seniors who
Yeah.
had a desire to wrestle in college. We found them a scholarship. 14 of that 16 got full rides into college.
Wow. Good stuff, man.
Mhm.
You know your stuff, in
I
other words.
appreciate it. Well, because I told you I transferred schools. I transferred schools about 4 times,
Yeah.
and I turned down a full ride football scholarship
Man.
for a partial wrestling scholarship.
Man.
And every time I transferred schools, I learned how to negotiate my own contracts on how to get more
Nice.
money. So every time it was time for me to transfer, I would say, so here's how I did it, a legit play by play.
Yeah.
Every school that I had beaten, that's who I called and said,
Oh.
I'm looking to transfer schools. Remember I beat your kid on this date at
Yeah.
this tournament? Would you be interested in having me come? And when they said yes, and I called every school in the conference.
Wow.
And when they were interested and they wanted to offer me, and they started sending the NILs
Yeah.
and the contracts at that time,
Yeah.
I said, I said, well, I really want to come to your school, but you know, I don't have a lot of support.
Yeah.
I don't have a lot of family, and I can't afford your school. Your school costs $30,000 a year, and you're only giving me $20,000, 15, and then I'm getting 5 for Pell Grant.
Yeah.
Well, that's $10,000 a year that I'm gonna have to get a loan or come out of pocket.
Yeah.
Well, this other school over here is giving me $25,000 a year.
Oh man.
I really love your school, but this school's offering me more.
Yeah.
Can you compete with them? Like, what can you do for me? Well, give me some time and I'll see what I can do.
Yeah. Yeah.
So then, so then they call me back and they say, all right, we can do it. And then I say, okay, give me some time. I call back the other school. Hey, I really want to come to your school, but they're giving me, and they match what they're doing, but I say, well, they're giving me
Yeah.
28. You're giving me 25, but they just said they're going to give me 28. I really love your school. Y but,
Selling it, man.
man, and I kid you not, on the day that it was time for me to go to 2015,
Yeah.
the day that it was time for me, that was in 2015, that was 2015.
Yeah.
There was 2 schools waiting to pick me up at the airport on the same day.
Oh man.
I I kid you not. And at the time, like, it wasn't very wise of me
Yeah.
because I was doing some growing up, but man, I grew up in a survivalist
That's right,
mindset.
man.
I'm trying to survive.
Right.
At that time, I wasn't thinking about be a man of your word,
Yeah,
this and
you
that.
were like
I'm thinking about I gotta take care of me first.
right,
Like,
right. Oh man. Where are you, man? We over
so
here at the airport. Where are you?
so listen.
Man.
So at that time, Waldorf College was a D3 in Iowa.
Yeah.
And then so they were expecting me. And then I ended up going to Bruton Parker.
Okay.
Um Jamil Bryant, he's the coach at Lindsey Wilson now. But both of these schools were expecting me on the same day. And I
Man.
ended up having to tell them, hey, I'm not coming. And
Man. Were they salty?
so but
Yeah.
of course, and like, of course, and like, I don't think I got that from them.
Yeah.
I think they were disappointed, but like, I mean, Yeah, man,
They
I
have
was
to
just trying to
understand.
survive.
They have to
I
understand.
haven't got no type of support system. I
Yeah.
don't it's just me.
Yeah.
It's just me.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm just like, I gotta get it however I gotta get it. And,
That's right.
like,
That's right.
it wasn't right. It wasn't right. It wasn't
But
right, but, like and I
hey.
was young at the same time, but I'm just like, I gotta take care of me, like,
Oh yeah.
so,
But yeah, look at it like this too. If that school would have found somebody else, you'd have been boxed out too. At the last minute, be like, you
exactly.
gotta go. What are you gonna do, man?
Mhm.
Man.
So, so every time I get a student and we get them an offer,
Yeah.
I'll say, "Are you gonna marry the first guy that asks you to marry them? Are you or are you gonna marry the first guy that you go on a date with?"
There you
And
go.
they say, "No, I'm gonna weigh my options." And I said, "Okay, well, go on a date with this other school,
Yep.
and this school's offering you 75%. I have a coach right now who they know who I am as a coach. They love me as a person. I have a great relationship with them. They've been looking at you. Even if you know this is where I want to go, Coach Irons, I'm sold on this.
Yeah.
But it's 75% scholarship. I said, go on a date with this other school.
Yeah.
So then they will say, we know your real value. We don't want to lose you. We've
Uh-huh.
been planning on committing to you.
Yeah.
We said we're gonna offer you 75%. Now we're afraid to lose you. We're gonna offer you
Yeah.
85. We're gonna offer you a full ride."
There you go.
And I said, "It's a free trip, all expenses paid.
Yeah.
You get to travel with your family. You get to go and get more wrestling experience.
Yes.
Just do it."
Yeah.
The girl said, "Nah, I
Oh.
think that's where I want to go."
Oh.
And I said, "That's fine. I can't force you."
Yeah.
And so she took a 75% scholarship. So
Man.
yeah,
Oh
yeah. So I was
man.
hurt because I'm like, man, I wanted to get her a full ride. Like, you deserve it.
She
Like
deserved
you
it.
deserve it. Yeah. So, but it was okay. It was okay. But because I negotiated and finessed my own scholarships and
You know how to
contracts,
do it.
and I help the kids do it. I help
Yeah.
the kids do it
That's
because
awesome.
something in my mind told me, and don't get me wrong, some of these coaches knew. I want to say some of these coaches I was talking to knew each other, and in
Yeah.
the coaching world, almost everybody's gonna know
Yeah,
each
they go
other.
talk to each other
Something
back
in
and
my
forth. Yeah.
mind told me, and I didn't know if it was illegal or not, but something in my mind told me it's illegal for a coach to discuss your offer letter
Yeah.
with another coach. Something in my mind
Yeah.
told me no coach is allowed to discuss an offer that he gave you with another school.
You would think
And I'm
so.
just
Yeah.
thinking, and sometimes these schools are in different states. So I said, there's no way he's calling this other coach and
Yeah.
saying, are you offering him this much?
Yeah.
And regardless, I said, hey, if you want me to, you gonna make it happen.
Exactly. Exactly. But you're
Yeah.
fighting for your survival. That's what it is, man.
Yeah.
Taking what you
Yeah.
got, man. That's awesome, man. So you come full spectrum, man. That's pretty good. Now you're helping kids negotiate through college. That's great, man.
Yep. Yeah.
Now, you mentioned on this, I just picked up on the one lady you were just helping. It's a lady going to wrestling. Now I'm starting to see more and more women doing wrestling now. When did that start? And are they making big? Well, I can't say are they making big strides because you see them all over the place. So they are making big strides.
Mhm.
What was it like when you start seeing women coming into wrestling in the man's area? You know what I mean?
So at my high school, we had a girl who was one of the best on the team.
Wow.
And she was kicking all the guys' butts, man.
Wow.
And she could have easily went to college, but wrapped up in a boyfriend.
Yeah.
So like, there's been women wrestlers around me, even when I was in high school. At our state tournament every year, there was at least one or two girls who
Really?
qualified for the boys tournaments.
Wow.
But one of the first kids that I helped get a scholarship was a girl from Puerto Rico. She
Yeah.
came over here during the hurricane,
Yeah.
and she was a freestyle wrestler, and I got to help her get a scholarship to go to college. So women have been wrestling.
Yeah.
Um, at the high school level, it wasn't very big at
Yeah.
all.
Yeah.
But there has always been a home for them in college
Okay.
because they wrestled internationally.
Yeah.
In college, they don't wrestle folk style like the boys do. They're wrestling to make world teams
Wow.
in college. So and so at the high school level, you got a handful of girls who were wrestling in your area, but like it wasn't very popular
Yeah.
whatsoever. It wasn't until maybe 3 years ago, 3 or 4 years ago, that they actually said, we're going to sanction women's wrestling in high school. So now it's its own sport. They
Okay.
get their own district, regional, and state tournament.
Good.
So they made it official. And
Man.
when they made it official, man, it blew up and all the
Really?
girls are flocking to it. But there
Wow.
was a school around here, Laley High Schools in Naples. They've always had a solid group of girls, like a solid
Even
group.
before it was
And then
sanctioned and everything.
when they weren't stationed, they've always had a good group of girls.
Wow.
And I don't know how they were doing it, but they always had a solid group of girls. And then one of the biggest group of girls around here that I seen was Fort Myers High School.
Okay.
So they had a solid group of girls even before it was sanctioned. Like maybe the
Wow.
year before, they had a solid full team of girls.
Wow.
So it's amazing to see the sport getting out there. I'm able to coach a lot more girls these days because of it. More
Yeah.
wrestlers are being produced, so it helps, get the youth kids
Yeah.
in. At the youth level, it's still not very popular. Jiu-jitsu is able to get a lot of girls in,
Yeah, I see a
I
lot
think,
of
because
jiu-jitsu
it
kids with girls. Yeah, a lot of them.
and I wish it would be more for the wrestling, but the wrestling kind of just seems more brutal and
Yeah.
more like burly
Yeah.
and masculine. But I mean, it's still self-defense.
Yeah.
Wrestling's still self-defense. I just wish that it was more appealing to
Mhm.
the
That's
to
good.
the younger girls.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
we get girls that trickle in from jujitsu. They want to get better at jujitsu, so they come to my club. So I
Yeah.
can't complain.
Exactly. And I think in jiu-jitsu, if you got a good wrestling base, come on, man. You go do so much better in Brazilian jiu-jitsu, in my humble but accurate opinion.
Yeah, half of my club kids are jujitsu kids. They come
Yeah.
from other clubs. They're in our gym's jujitsu program. So half of my kids right now are jujitsu kids,
Yeah.
and they come over because they know, like, we got to get better at wrestling.
Yeah, absolutely. Like we were talking earlier, about the judo and wrestling. While we would get beat, like you said, you guys already knew all our throws, the sweeps, the everything
Yeah,
else, man. And you guys were doing it without the gis on. I'm like, geez, man.
exactly. Hmm.
And you guys are brutal, man. Well, so what's next for you, my friend? Before we get you out of here, what's next for you?
Uh,
Just beating
Lord
everybody up.
willing, Lord willing. I want to get into
Okay.
freestyle and Greco, because I originally that was my plan.
Yeah.
So I'm still like, beach is what I'm still honed in on. If I have a beach opportunity, I'm gonna choose that first.
Yeah.
But I have a couple of opportunities. I hope they fall through. There are some organizations where professional wrestling now,
Yeah.
you can go and make money and build up a name.
Good.
There's a few
Very
organizations
good.
and that are emerging. So I've been talking to some people, seeing if I can get myself out there. So I think opportunities will come for that. Um,
Good, man.
I see a lot of these people, man, online,
Yeah.
and they're getting wrestling matches and the buzz and publicity, and they're being paid to do these super fights and these super matches.
Yeah.
I've been calling people out, man.
Yeah. You try
I've
to
been
get in
I've
there
been
too.
calling people out.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. The guy Muggsy
Yeah.
on Instagram, black guy who wears a bandana.
Yep.
He
Yep. I
he
see
he has a
it.
nice he has a nice ankle pick.
Yeah.
And
A monster ankle pick, man.
I called him out. He didn't respond to me.
Not
Cause
yet.
I'm just like, cause I'm like, you think you're good at wrestling and beach wrestling? Come do a match with me.
Oh, man.
One of his pals, Jacob Howland, he's coaching.
Man.
I called him out too. I'm like, hey, you guys are wrestling. You guys are blowing up. You guys are getting booked for these super matches and these super. I'm like, put me
There
in.
you go.
Come wrestle me.
There you go.
Uh, but so that didn't fall through. I think he's more focused on coaching
Yeah.
at the moment.
Not
But
yet.
I'm
Eh,
just
that's all
like,
right.
all of these events that they're doing, like RAF
Yeah.
and like they're Caleb Henschel,
Oh, yeah.
and they're putting these like super matches together.
Yeah.
I would love the opportunity to
Man.
battle it out in a super fight. I have to follow, and I got like almost 80,000 people on my Instagram.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'll help you get some publicity. Give me an opportunity.
Exactly,
So
man. You may have to just roll up at one of those meets, man, and talk to their coach and be like, "What's up with your boy?"
yeah, yeah, exactly. And just start making my rounds and
Yeah.
recording it all.
Yeah, man. That's
But
awesome,
yeah,
man.
so I'm taking some time off.
Yeah.
Got banged up in Morocco and
Yeah.
Egypt,
We
so
just
taking some
came
time
back,
off, just
dude. Yeah.
trying to heal and recover my body.
Yeah.
And but I'm staying active, really honing in on my coaching
Okay.
these days. So that's kind of what's next for me. I'm just looking for the next opportunity,
There you
but
go.
while I'm recovering.
All right, brother. Well, I hope you get it, man. I tell you, this has been
I
awesome, my
appreciate
friend. I've been so excited ever since we talked, and I've been following you, watching all the stuff you're doing. I'm like, I want to talk to a monster out there. Let me see what this guy
it.
is. Well, brother, tell everybody how they can
I
find
appreciate
you.
the opportunity, man.
Hey, you're more than welcome, brother.
You
Tell
can
everybody how they
find
can
me
find you on all your
on
Instagram, your contact, all the stuff so they can reach you.
yes, sir. Instagram at Irons Elite Wrestling. We have an Irons Elite Wrestling YouTube channel
Okay,
where I
nice.
post content. Um, Facebook, we have a page, Irons Elite Wrestling Club as well. So those are all of my social media platforms. So you can find me.
All right.
Everything's Irons Elite Wrestling.
All right, brother. Well, hey, we're going to look you up, man, big time. Hey, guys, listen, this has
I
been Jabari
appreciate
Irons. This man, the myth, the living legend himself, is out there, man.
it.
Give this guy some love out there. If you guys can help support his journey out there any way you can, give out to him. Look for him, guys. But hey, with that, man, Jabari, I appreciate you more than you know, brother. We'll talk soon, my
I
friend.
appreciate it, man. Thank you for the opportunity. Yes, sir.
You're more than welcome. Take care, brother.
Lines on my face like cracks in the road. Still chasing fire through the years half slow. Weights on my back, sweat in my eyes. Old man's fight never says die.